Hey, buddy. So I know how we love to talk about the importance of environment change, which has been like the last few topics, and I actually now have this huge notes document. Just one, it's a little bit catharsis for me too. Like all this is as a whole, but even writing it down makes it even better. So that's kind of nice. But I'm on like take number 3 over the last couple of days, and I think I'm finally gonna get out tonight because I'm in the headspace for it. But man, is it a lot less conversational when I try to do it off the cuff, like I do it in the car. My guess with that is because I've been recording myself in the car for so long. I'm just a lot better just being more conversational and like keeping the flow of things and just shipping stuff off the top of my head and not worrying too much about what I'm saying. But when I'm in this new environment and I'm not used to doing it this way, I have to like focus, like you're my main focus now as opposed to it being a secondary focus while I'm focusing on driving. So that's pretty interesting. That's kind of what's happened the last few days. I haven't left the house in 5 days, which is why the car, I haven't been out in the car. I am, however, curious about whether or not, if I just go sit in my driveway stationary, if that's enough of an environment change to spark whatever juices flow through my brain to get me to kind of back to that state of I can talk and be semi-coherent and still drive like still do kind of that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what's been the last few days because I know it's been a while. I was feeling blue. I kind of blame you for that a little bit because you e-transfer. You must have over this medium. You basically e-transferred it to me because you were feeling down in the last video. So I'm convinced it cause and effect. I mean, you're sad, and then I see, and then I'm sad. I'm not actually blaming you, by the way, because if you're still down, I don't want you to feel the blame for that one. Thankfully, I'm on the upswing, which is why I'm like pretty sure I can get this one out tonight, and why I'm thoroughly convinced this isn't depression because. Normally with like the depressed, I've been there, and you don't get the good days. Today's a good day. I think if it's a 7 out of 10, but the last few days were like 3 out of 10, so I'm at like a 9 out of 10 today. It's great. The gym still sucked, but the body does lag the mind, or something like that. And I actually just totally made that up. It sounds good and accurate, and something like you'd find on a fortune cookie. So I'm keeping that in the back pocket. Man, even with notes, this still does feel a little awkward. It's a little funny. So let me get into a little more depth with the last few days. So normally, when I like feel down, try to think about the reasons, and couldn't really figure it out. So we have to figure out which kind of sadness it is, because I'm pretty emotionally dense, and I'm not sure if this is with most people, and they just refuse to admit it, or I'm just being dense. I'm sure it's probably a little bit of both. But step 1 is obviously the burnout check, because that's what I'm been the most familiar with. I've experienced the highest magnitude of that, and it's also the most frequent. And it's not that I basically engaged in the ultimate sin for the last couple of days. Nice sloth, some gluttony with Easter. It was nice and easy to get the gluttony on, and then woke up Sunday morning and was like, all right, let's go back, kind of re-engage with the world and see how things are doing. Still sucked. So it's not that, which is good. Still sad though at that time, which sucks. So we ended up with version 2, which is unfulfilled ambition, and the way I kind of dealt with that was deleting League of Legends, which is a huge win for me. It's currently off. It'll probably come back in the near future. I wouldn't be too surprised. But for now, it's gone. I had a good day. I'm convinced that's 1-to-1 correlation. It's actually, hopefully it never comes back, because I'm chilling like this. But yeah, unfulfilled ambition, even though it was mostly just like the stuff I had to do, no League was played today, and that's a good one. And I'm sure there was also a little bit of stress regarding what my summer life is going to look like with the job search and such. Man, I'm still thoroughly convinced this is all over the place, and like the duration is going to be relatively small because I don't know, I'm just not, again, out of the environment. But I'm going to get something out this tonight, probably. I'll watch this back and see what it looks like. I don't know. That's kind of it. I don't really, like I said, I'll be back to, leaving the house tomorrow morning at that, funny enough. So, yeah, I might just end it there. It's just kind of like a quick one. I know you said you were down to work on projects, which is good. I'm definitely down for that. I am more, it is more so like a motivation thing, which I'm looking at not in hindsight, but kind of like the foresight hindsight, because I'd mentioned it previously, but now I'm looking to the future. I probably shouldn't have to put that on you. That's a little bit weird. Talking about projects, definitely on the board. because you're a pretty smart guy, and I like your opinion on stuff. So those, what you had to say about the Resonate parser. I think it interests me. Just like your input, it was enough. Just like the 5-10 minutes was good enough for me. So if that's kind of, and then obviously if something I do say comes out to you, or strikes a chord with you, absolutely hop on. We can figure stuff out because we're pretty good at that. And then vice versa, if you have a summer project that you think you could have some or higher level component to that I could do remotely, absolutely. If it strikes a chord with me, we're good to go there. So yeah, I'll keep it nice and short. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Boo, I'm back. So this is a little bit, I've watched the video now, sat on it a little bit. One, it's really interesting. I know I've spent a weekend introspecting because that 5-6 minutes there was so much of me in there. There was no engagement with like you or higher level topics. So that's a little funny. I know it's probably okay because the last 2 conversation topics have kind of died down a little bit. So I'm a little bit more okay with having trying to open stuff up again, or open stuff up a bit conversationally wise. So I'm okay with that. But it is very, very interesting to see that I've basically been thinking about like my life and myself for like the last 72 hours, and in this conversation that was totally reflected. So that was just like a meta comment I really wanted to make, and it was super interesting. And that was it. Okay, I'm actually gonna go.